one of the things that has come up is how to get from the practice tee to the first tee. What I've discovered is that most people think they're better than they are on the range and think they're worse than they are on the golf course. And part of that is, well, on the range, you have almost always a very nice flat lie. Sometimes you have a mat, which actually makes it easier to hit a good shot, what looks like a good shot. And very often you roll the ball over into a very, very nice lie if you're on the grass. So that's a little different than what we experience on the course. And not only that, you hit half a dozen 9-irons in a row, and one of them's really good, and you go, oh yeah, that's my shot, that's my game. But when you get on the golf course, you don't get to pick your best out of half a dozen when you have your shot. You're not supposed to roll it over. Sometimes people play what they call winter rules, and what my friend Ken calls cheating. But we do want to be kind to each other, to ourselves. Sometimes it's pretty tough ground. But in general, you play it as it lies, so you have to deal with that. It's not always, and actually very rarely, a flat lie. And you have a consequence to the shot, which you don't have on the range. So that's why be a little more accepting of your range, excuse the expression, of results on the golf course. I remember a lesson that I did for an LPGA pro. There she was on the range hitting 8-irons to about the 150-yard marker. And they were all, 5 yards left, 5 yards right, a few yards short or long, very, very accurate. Then we moved over to the side of the range, and I put her in grass, not quite as deep as what's behind me, but a couple of inches deep, and the ball below her feet. And using the same club to the same target, it was 20 yards to the left and 20 yards to the right, and 10 or 15 yards short sometimes. So the more difficult lie, the bigger your dispersion area. That actually helped her when she got onto the course. She was in just exactly the same lie, and there was a flagstick on the green, and to the left of the flagstick, only 10 yards left, was a lake. So instead of aiming at the flagstick as she would have, she aimed at the right edge of the green. Well, she pulled her shot about 10 yards left, and it ended up near the pin. If she'd aimed at the pin, it would have been in the water. So giving yourself more room to play, the worse your lie is the best thing that you can do. The other thing you can do to take your range game to the course is to actually introduce your routine on the range before you go to the first tee. And that is, after you've gone through your clubs and done whatever warm-up you do, pretend you're on the first tee, tee a ball up, and create an imaginary fairway out there with flag sticks or landscape features, and go through your whole routine the way you would pick a target, the way you would take a practice swing if you do, the way you would breathe before, what I recommend, breathing before you walk into your address position, and then play the shot as if you were on the first tee. If it goes well, then do your post-shot routine that I've taught, depending on how it goes. We can talk about that another time, the post-shot routine. And then, instead of raking a ball over, now put the driver away, or whatever you teed off with, put that away. And what I would call your play club, whatever you put the ball in play with. And then drop a ball on the range. Don't rake it over, but drop it as if you were taking a drop from a sprinkler head on the fairway. Pick the green that you're shooting at out on the range, and again, go through your full routine with an iron or a hybrid. Then that means you've played a par 4, the 2 full swing shots on a par 4. Now tee up a longer club for a long par 3 and pick a green out there in the range, and do the same thing for that hole. And then pretend you're playing a par 5. Hit your play club off the tee, and then drop a ball and play to an area target with a fairway wood or hybrid, or iron if you're practicing laying up. And then drop a ball again and hit a wedge onto one of your wedges onto a nearby green. And now you've played a par 4, a par 3, and a par 5, and then you head to the first tee as if you're going to the 4th hole. You're already in your course rhythm rather than your range rhythm. And that's the key for that. So that's how to take your range game to the course when you warm up before a round. We have a question. This looks like it's from Jenny, who's in the UK, where they're in a what she described as a severe lockdown, and the weather's not that nice. I remember that I was watching a show that's produced in Ireland, and they were saying, I don't know about this in the Bible about the 40 days and 40 nights, raining for 40 days and 40 nights in Ireland. We just call that summer. So I'm sure there are a lot of dreary, cold days there in the winter. At the same time, you can bundle up and get out on the golf course. But Jenny asks, are there any putting drills I can do in my kitchen during lockdown? Now, putting drills in the kitchen, if you have a linoleum or tile floor, that's going to be a really fast green. If you have a linoleum floor, that's like the U.S. Open when it's a 15 stimp meter. But I think I would use a carpeted floor. It's going to make it a little bit. If you have carpeting in your kitchen, lovely. But on a carpeted floor, yes, you can. Just be aware that you may be getting used to quite a bit faster speed. Now, unless you have shag carpeting, that's going to be pretty slow. But you're going to be getting used to a faster speed. But you can certainly practice working on your stroke and being aware of that, and also working on your distance. And this is a game I used to play a lot with friends, and that is that goes with the leapfrog drill that's in Zen Golf, and it's a leapfrog game where you put a starting coin down, and then about 6 feet from that, you put a first point coin, and then another, ideally about 9 feet past that, 3 paces past that, an ending coin. Okay, so you have your starting point, and you need to roll a putt, your first putt, just past the first coin. And you get a point for when it goes past that first coin. Then you have another ball that you roll and try to get it just past that ball that you rolled. And if it goes just past it, you get another point. But if you're short of it, you lose a point. And you have to leapfrog your way one past the next and see how many you can fit in until you get to the end coin. And then you have a competition. And so you only need 2 balls. When you have your partner, then they hit the shorter one back to you. So if you go past it, past the previous one, they hit that back. If you're short and you lose a point, the same ball gets hit back to you and you have to try again. And whoever gets the most balls in that space, the most points, not the most balls, but the most points, before they go past the end coin, they win that round. So it's a great one to develop touch, to develop your pace. The other thing you can do is the guessing game for speed, and that is, again, hit a putt, aim at maybe the leg of a chair or table a little ways away, and hit the putt and guess before you look. Guess whether it's going to be long, short, or about right, and then look. And that creates a feedback loop that trains you for feel, for speed. So both of those are about speed. So you can work on your stroke, you work on speed. Here's Marcella. Hi, Marcella. Okay. How often would you recommend to do the practice of mindfulness, get mentally better for golf tournaments? And to handle thoughts in our heads. Are your thoughts in your heads? Are you sure? Well, if you stub your toe, where are your thoughts? Are they in your head or are they in your toe? No, they're in your toe. You're thinking about your toe. We just think they're in our head because our eyes and our ears and our nose and our mouth, it's all up here. But your thoughts don't have a particular location in your body. Nobody's ever done a brain operation and found a thought in there. So, and the night before the tournament and during the tournament. So that's 4 questions in 2 minutes. How often to practice mindfulness? Regularly, as every day if you can. And when I say every day, don't beat yourself up if you miss one. That's why I say regularly rather than daily, but as close to daily as you can. And what's really helpful is a morning practice that starts the day. At the end of Zen putting, I call it the sandwich of the day. You sandwich your day in mindfulness. Zen putting, mindfulness in the morning. Do all the stages that we talked about, and then set an intention. Say, may I return to mindfulness as often as possible during the day. Then at the end of the day, do a reflection and say, how often did I return to mindfulness? And I want to do it even better tomorrow. And then do a short mindfulness session before you go to bed. So that's very helpful to sandwich it. To handle the heads in your thoughts. Well, you can't handle them, you see, because you can't put one in your hand. So what you can do is develop this relationship to your thoughts where you can have thoughts, but know that you are not your thoughts. You do not have to identify with them. So if you have a thought of doubt about how your shot's going to turn out, you can go, okay, that's interesting. If I have that much doubt, maybe this isn't the best plan for the shot. And I either have to be more accepting about the range of results or make a different plan. So you can use your thoughts in that way. And if you have the thought, everybody's watching, I don't want to make a mistake, then you can say, that's not how I want to approach a golf swing. Smile and say, thank you, thought, but you're not helping me right now. So you can wave it away from your head that way. And the night before a tournament, spend a little time with positive visualization, imagining yourself playing really well. And imagine yourself doing your routine really well and swinging with commitment rather than doubt. During the tournament, between shots, come back to, you have a lot of time between shots. You don't have to think about golf the whole time. Look at your environment. Do your environmental mindfulness. Return to your body awareness. Get out of your head into your body as much as you can. So I hope that's helpful. And that's our brief question and answer for today. If you have questions, we're going to do this again in 2 weeks. So let's close that. And I want to thank everybody for participating. I appreciate it very much. And that's our session for today. Now, for future sessions, we're going to have them posted on the website on the drjoeparent.com website under free resources and practicing mindful awareness. So we're going to try to do it every other week. I think we have it scheduled every other Wednesday through March. I hope this is a good time for everybody. We may do a survey and might change the time to earlier in the morning, but we'll keep that in mind. And we'll let everybody know. So you'll get an email if you're signed up on our email list. And if you send questions to info@zengolf.com, then we'll have something lined up for next time as well. So please share your questions that way. Okay? Thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay safe, and return to the present moment when you realize you've drifted into a daydream.